Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday. I'm currently here in Weston-super-Mare on a sunny bank holiday, and I seem to be surrounded by a Dalek invasion. Hi kids, welcome to Terry on Tuesday. Okay, the bad news and the good news. The bad news is this is not going to be one of those long videos where I talk about loads of different things. The good news is this is not going to be one of those long videos where I talk about lots of different things. Also, I'm so stressed, my beard fell off and I woke up this morning with Christopher Walken hair. It looks weird and I don't know what to do. Anyway, okay, so since last week, now it's 8 weeks to go, and looking at this in its entirety, you can tell I'm tired, I just woke up. There is about 8 weeks of work left to do on Marvin. Unfortunately, it's 8 weeks of work for more than one person. It's probably 8 weeks of work for 3 people. I'm not 3 people, clearly. So, as every week that passes, I realise how little I've got done since the previous week. I mean, I'm trying to do a bit of work on it every day. But even with that, I don't seem to do enough. And the more work I do, if I try to do more work, I get further behind with my day job. And the day job is what pays the rent and bills, unfortunately. And also, things like sanding and filling, I'm not very good at. And where these arms and legs and whatever should have been finished potentially with a day or two of sanding and filling, it's taken me weeks because I'm just rubbish at it. Anyway, no more excuses. Let's talk about what I've got done. Simplest things first. Glued all the bobblies on and the bar across the top for the wrists. Had to make a fake one out of milliput, which I still don't think has gone off after a week. Very old milliput, that's the problem. I think it might not have gone off properly. It'll be fine once it's sealed. So that's both of those done. Skirt, I've now put a piece of very thick ABS across the top here to account for the gap, you know, the bit that sticks out here. I've also put some filler on it so you can see it's quite smooth. Just need a little bit more smoothing on that. Talking of smoothing, the small sander I ordered from Amazon that I said didn't turn up last week still hasn't turned up, and neither has my refund. But it has been a bank holiday weekend, which means in the UK the banks stay closed through Monday, and it's now Tuesday, so hopefully you know, my refund will be processed in a day or two, which will be nice. Also good news is that although I sadly had to cancel my Finland trip this year, I did finally get through to a nice guy in Finnair customer service who agreed to pay me the full refund as opposed to the half 50% refund that I previously got. Right, okay, let's keep going. New improved calf. It's an improvement and it's not an improvement, right? This is not glued together at all. This is just held together with, I've done some weird kind of slot thingy arrangements. There's like a slot there, and a slot there and a sticky outy bit there, and they all just stick together. Now, the reason I say this is not an improvement is because the actual Marvin calf, the ridges are a lot deeper, and it doesn't taper out. It's actually a square. It's more 90 degrees. But I've designed this purely to fit into the thigh, which I've done half and glued it together. So as you can see, we've got that little bit of movement there, which, I mean, it doesn't need to bend at 90 degrees. It's not that type of leg. As long as there's a bit of wobble in it, and I believe there is, I think we'll be all right. So thigh a lot bigger. Unfortunately, like I say last time, it did cost me a lot to get the other thighs printed, but they were a bit too small, which was completely my bad, so my bad, my cost. But I need to print another 6 of these, well, there's 2 there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I've got another 6 of these to print, but they take a long time to print. These are taking a longish time to print. I think, I don't know, it's something like 30 hours, I don't know. But I'm confident that they'll be okay, if I can fit that back on there. So I think they'll be fine. I mean, at the moment the filament is printing quite smoothly. It's not terrible. There is some warpage going on still. There's the gaps here. There is a little bit of warpage going on from temperature in the room, as I had before. But I think I'm just going to try and fill that section in the middle rather than go the whole hog like I'm doing with the arms. I'm going all over the printer to cover up the print lines. But this is pretty smooth anyway. So I'm going to be quite minimal with the filler on this. A, to speed it up, and B, I don't think it needs it that much. So forearms are taking shape. I've been going over all the surfaces, not that one clearly, with the dolphin glaze filler, and as you can see it's super smooth. I've started to mark them, as you can just about see there, okay, with pencil. You can definitely see that one, this is okay. Basically it means don't do any more sanding and filling on it. There are slight inconsistencies, maybe a couple of little pinholes and stuff, but I've got to start deciding that's good enough. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be good enough. This one hasn't been marked okay because there's a gap here and there's a few things there that can be filled, but that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. That's nearly okay. There's just that weird gap there, but that'll take one and a little bit of sanding. Edges are coming off nicely. At some point I'm going to have to just stop and say, okay, he's done. This is the inside of the arm, so it is a bit bumpy, and I put some circles around the bits that need filling. But other than that, I'm not going to do much more sanding on that because it's the inside of the arm, you're not going to see it. The important bit is the outside of the arm. Alrighty. Upper arm, obviously they're getting heavy as well, but I've started putting filler on all the surfaces. That's okay, that's done. That's got two little bits that need fixing. It's okay under there. It's surprising how much strength it adds to it as well. Again, there's the inside of the arm, doesn't need anything doing to it because it's going to be glued to the mount. That can stay exactly as it is, just filler and primer it. This is the outside of the arm that needs a lot of work, so a bit more sanding, a bit more filling, and this is all going to be black. The only thing, at the top surfaces of these, I don't know if you can see them, they're very scruffy. It's because the way they were printed upside down. So I've got to get the Dremel in there and try to smooth out the scruffiness in there. That is almost it, ladies and joins. What I will do today and this week, if at all possible, is obviously get the rest of the thigh printed. Start on printing another calf. So at the moment, like I said, the printer's behaving. I think I've got enough filament for at least the rest of the thigh, but I've got to order some more, so I'm getting through filament like crazy business. Ankles, I've decided that I'm not going to keep them, joinable, because there's literally no need for it. Basically, if I put this on, I mean the hole is huge compared to the foot. The hole is huge. I can get my foot through there, pop it through, put the foot of Marvin on, put my trainers back on. It sits on there. There's no need to have this glued or cleverly joined together. I'm just going to arrow tight it together. I'm going to put a wee bit of filler down both sides and around the gap here. Yes, there's some print lines on it. You can see the print lines on it, but I don't give a damn. David's is a bit nicer, the one David did for me. Print lines are a bit cooler on it, and it took less time to print, which is amazing. Yeah, and the same thing with this guy. Filler it, give it a quick rub down with a sandpaper, and then silver and lacquer. Talking of lacquer, I'm going to put some clear lacquer on the feet today. It's lovely and sunny out there. I'm going to quickly get out there and put lacquer on the feet and carry on with the skirt. Man, oh yeah, I'm going to show you something that started out as a bit of a kind of foolish thing. One of the hand mandibles, or handibles, as you should say, as you can see, apart from the palm, that is completely covered in filler and dolphin glaze. What I decided to do was test it. I got an old brush, I mixed up some dolphin glaze, and dolphin glaze is like honey, comes at the consistency of honey, and I slapped it on there. I literally painted it on. Now I made sure that, you know, I got all the edges I could, dripped off wherever possible, but at some point you have to stop brushing because it starts hardening. But I left it, and it has softened the detail a lot. You know, it's obviously joins things together, like the circles and the lines gets joined together a little bit, but it's a little bit, obviously a little bit sort of uneven in places, but I have been sanding this, and I think that's pretty good. Obviously, I don't need to do anything on the inside because it's on the inside. I'm just going to sand a few bits more on the outside there. But the original Marvin, being made in fiberglass, the detail is that soft on him. So I'm quite happy with that. I mean, it's a little bit bumpy lumpy up here, which I haven't finished sanding them yet. You know, like the bumps on that, that's, you know, I can sand all this down a little bit. But generally, I'm quite happy with that. So I might go this route, literally painting it on, or try and paint it a bit thinner actually. I'm also tempted to buy a small pot of fiberglass resin because you can thin out the filler a little bit. So I might do that, thin it out and see if I can get it on even thinner, and then just let it drip, and then sand off all the drips, and then leave it as a nice smooth coat. So that kind of worked. I'm not going to reprint the arm. It's made it super strong, but it isn't a decent finish. I'm happy with it. This came in the post. It's rubber sealant, like car door sealant. It's self-adhesive, so it's got the sticky back thing to peel off. And this is going to go on the underside of the feet, so he won't be smashing down hard on concrete or floors or whatever. He'll have a bit of a bounce, a bit more padding, and also be quieter and a bit nicer. So yeah, that's about it. Now, on Sunday, 2 days ago, I had the pleasure of going down to Weston-super-Mare with the group called the Daleks of Somerset. There's a local guy to me called Dalek Decimus. He gave me a lift down with his Dalek, Decimus obviously, and we met 3 other Daleks. So we met the Daleks of Somerset guys, and we spent, you know, a couple of hours up and down the seafront, as you can see by my ridiculous sunburn. Ow, 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 because I'm an idiot. Yeah, it was hot in Tunisia out there. It wasn't a charity thing, it was just literally to go up and down and just have some photo opportunities. It was packed, zero social distancing or mask wearing going on. So get ready for another lockdown, people. But no, it was a fantastic day. It was my first event with Daleks. In the stormtrooping circles, we call it going on a troop. Daleks call it going on a trundle, which I think is fantastic. And as a result, well, after we'd finished, the owners of a Dalek called Dalek Scar told me I could have a quick sit in one and do the talking and move the head and everything. And this is what that looked like.
All humans, buy Clack from Candy Jar. The book by Chris Achilleos, featuring all the classic Target artwork. Buy now! Buy! Buy!
You need to get a Dalek.
I do need to get a Dalek.
Was that not cool? Anyway, yeah, so I first saw a Dalek in real life when I was 9 years old. I was in school and we went on a school trip in London to the Bethnal Green Toy Museum, which is now called the Bethnal Green Museum of Childhood, and there was a dark grey genesis of the Daleks era, because it was the mid-70s, by the way. It was there in the foyer, and I did not want to see the rest of the museum. I wanted to stay with the Dalek all day, because it's a Dalek. So, having sat inside Dalek Scar and had a little play and do the voice and everything, there may well be a Dalek coming to my videos at some point. There may well be a Dalek living here with Marvin and me. What a sitcom that would make. A geek a Dalek and an android, a paranoid android. Okay, that's it for this weekend. Sorry it wasn't too involved, but I do have lots of work to catch up with. On top of the day job, we're about to start rehearsals for the musical, and I've also got like 2 more books have come in to illustrate. I've been working on my children's book Monsters Next Door, which is in the printers right now and should be with me next week hopefully. So very excited to see that in person, in real life. Sold quite a few copies already. Fantastic. If you want a copy, I'll leave the link in the description. Only $7.99. And that is it for me for this week. I am completely knackered. I'm stressed about the workload, and I'm also terrified Marvin's not going to make it in time in 8 weeks. Obviously I don't have any assistance with this. I've just got to squeeze in the work whenever I can. And when I'm working on this, like I say, I feel guilty about the day job. When I'm working on day job, I feel I should be doing more on Marvin. So unfortunately, that's the way it is. Anyway, you know the score. I've said this before. So anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave like, subscribe, and comments and all that malarkey. Thanks to the Daleks of Somerset for the trip and the experience with Daleks on the weekend. It is now Tuesday. It is Terry, and I will see you next week with 7 weeks to go. Take care now. Bye bye then.